Hi, my name is Austin and this is PPC for Everyone, the channel where we give specific instructions and tutorials on how to improve and manage your pay-per-click marketing campaigns. Today I want to talk about reporting, and I want to talk about reporting in Google Ads specifically. Reporting is something that pay-per-click professionals spend a lot of time on. I personally used to spend too much time on reporting. Not that it's unimportant, but reporting can be a big time sink, especially when you're trying to answer questions from a lot of clients or your boss. Preferably, you would be able to send out reports and answer questions quickly and then move on to the actual work of managing the account as soon as possible. So today I'm going to share on what I think is one of the most helpful and underutilized tools in the Google Ads system, which is the reporting feature. So the Google Ads reporting feature is free, it's fast, it's powerful, and it even gives you access to some metrics that you can't find in other reporting systems like Google Data Studio. So let's jump into a report right here. So actually, first I'll point out where to find the reports. It's pretty obvious right here at the top next to the wrench. If you click on reports, you'll see a bunch of predefined reports and then also the report and the dashboards links. So Google Ads reporting is broken up into two sections. There's reports and dashboards, and reports contain the individual reports. So for example, how many clicks and impressions you had in a certain date range. And dashboards are where you combine multiple reports together into one place. So let's look at the dashboards first. This is a sample dashboard with a sample store, so there's no data here. But you can see that if you wanted to, you can take all this data and adjust it around and make your own custom dashboard. So you can add a scorecard that contains, for example, the clicks that took place during a certain time period. You can add some customizations to it. And again, I've got no data in here, so you won't see anything. You can also add notes and move things around as you like. And then importantly, once you save a dashboard, you can download it or you can schedule it to send to anyone who has direct access to the Google Ads account. So that's the dashboard. It's a similar setup in the actual reports themselves. You can schedule them out, you can download them as several different file types, which is great. And again, when you schedule them, you can only send them to people who have an email address in the Google Ads account. And that's one shortcoming of the Google Ads reporting feature, is that you can't schedule this to someone if they don't have direct email access to the account. But that's okay. There's some ways to use other reporting tools. I'll recommend one at the end of this video. So anyway, what to do with reports? I typically use reports to answer really, basic questions. So for example, why did the account's performance increase or decrease last month or last week compared to the previous time period? And so you can do all that in here and add really just all the metrics. There's a lot in this one. For example, clicks, impressions, click-through rate. So I could, for example, sort the clicks from high to low in the most recent period and then see which campaigns drove the biggest changes, so the biggest drops in clicks. And I could do the same with conversions, which would be helpful to identify which campaigns are performing the worst or had the biggest problems or biggest gains over the last time period. So that's how you would answer some general questions just on changes in performance. Probably the most typical exercise that I'll do with these reports is I'll come in, I'll add a conversions chart, and then I'll sort by conversions from highest to lowest in one of the columns, and then I'll look at the change. And sorry, I meant to say that for shopping campaigns, this is one of the most common things that I'll do with the reporting tool is I'll segment the data by item. So you can see item ID. I've just added as a row item ID. And now once I sort the columns from highest conversions to least, then I can see specifically which items drove that change. So that's incredibly useful. It gives you a much more fine view of what's going on in the shopping campaigns. And most importantly, it actually combines, it flattens all of the data. So of one item ID that might exist in multiple campaigns, it flattens that data into a single row. So this item might be being advertised across multiple campaigns, but here all of its data is put into this one row. So that's really convenient. Those are some common things that I'll do with the reports in Google Ads. There are some uncommon things that I often will look at in here, and let me move my camera out of the way. So one of the things that I don't always find in other reporting tools, so if you were using Google Data Studio, for example, you might not have access to this. So this is the served versus the build cost metric. You might be able to find this in some reporting tools, but I haven't. But what this is it's actually really interesting. You can see if Google has served your ads for more amount of money than they've actually billed you, which happens every now and then. So for example, in December of 2021, when I'm filming this, Google had a slight glitch in their smart shopping campaigns and they overbilled, but then refunded the cost on some smart shopping ad campaigns. And you can see that here. And if someone on your team has a concern about what's been billed, you can point out to them here that the billed cost is actually less than the served cost. And not a lot in this case, but $1,000-ish, that's considerable. That's worth noting. Okay, so that's one of the uncommon metrics you can find in the reporting tool. The last one you can find elsewhere in Google Ads, but it's really helpful to look at here, which is the invalid clicks versus the clicks and then the invalid click rate. So for example, on this account, 32,000 clicks and 5,800 of them were invalid, meaning Google flagged them as bot traffic or fraudulent clicks in some way and then refunded that. And then you can see the percentage rate, how many clicks were invalid. And I can see specifically in this one, search campaigns are responsible for the most of that. Oh, actually, cross-network is responsible for most of that, which are smart shopping campaigns typically. So that's not surprising, because smart shopping campaigns show ads all over the place. All right, so the last thing that I want to share is where to find some things that are not available in the Google Ads reporting tool. And you might not need this, but I think it's fun to look at. It's actually helpful. But I use Optimizer. I get a slight kickback from Optimizer if you use the link below, so you're welcome to use that or not if you don't want to. But this is my Optimizer dashboard for my sample store, Trail Map Apparel. No data in here, but what I find really useful in Optimizer's reports features that you can, down here in the account performance reports section, you can find pretty elaborate and well-made reports. And if you just click on these links, it'll just open and then populate a report for you. So for example, let's say I'm working with someone in this account and they're asking me what led to the change in performance this week versus last week. I could just use the weekly performance report, or if the question is, what changed this month versus last month, I could use the monthly performance report. And those are pre-made. I haven't made this myself. It's just pre-made with some graphics on the first page and then data down below comparing, let's see, this one compared week over week. Yeah. So rather than making an ad hoc report with Optimizer, I can just open up a template and then send that off rather than spending time making a custom report to answer a question. Last thing I want to point out with Optimizer tool is that you can track quality score in a much better way than you can in the Google Ads interface. So in Optimizer, you can get a summary of why your quality score is up or down, where you can improve. So in this case, the expected CTR and the landing page experience are pulling it down, but the ad relevance is great. So that's helpful information. I can see the same info segmented by campaign, ad group, keyword, and then also a list of which factors are leading to the most change. the change is plotted down below here. If you're familiar with quality scores in Google Ads, you'll see that this is pretty unique in that the quality score is plotted across different days going into the past. In the Google Ads interface, all you get is one snapshot in time of the quality score, and you can't see it day by day changing. So this is really excellent in that Optimizer is taking a record of your quality score as it changes over time, which you can track in here. So that's it for this video. I hope you found it useful. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below, and I'll try to answer them as fast as I can. If you found this video helpful, please consider liking the video and then subscribing to our channel to learn more. All right, thank you for watching and good luck.